Welcome back to New York Tawk, episode 166. I'm your host, Elyse DeLucci. Welcome to Manhattan, Upper East Side. We are in my kitchen. How are you doing today? I am fine. I am fine. And you know what? I like being fine. That's probably very satisfactory for my shrink. He will say, Elyse, you're not depressed. You're not super happy. Fine. Okay. You know what, though? I could say I'm a little bit, miffed about. I'm wearing as if I'm trying to find something to be miffed about, to tell you. No, I'm not. I'm really not. I put on this shirt, right, today that I got, I don't know, TJ, one of these stores, and it's Jason Wu, designer. And it's a button-down shirt, cropped, but, to the waist, collar, long sleeves, and it's black, of course, and it's lace. So, I felt like it was very sexy. It could go from day to evening, that kind of thing. Problem is, it's boxy. It's a boxy button down. And I like to be comfortable, so the boxiness feels good, but I'm not really loving the linebacker look, But at the same time, having darts, when they put it's not darts, because darts go horizontally, right? Is that a dart? I think a dart goes horizontally underneath your armpit to, like the center of your breast, right? On either side. That's like a dart. But I forget what it's called when there's the stitching, the extra stitching, down the side or in the front to make it like a slim fit button down. And by the way, I should know this because in college for one semester, I worked as a pattern maker in the costume design department. Fun fact about me. But it's, so I don't know. I guess what I'm trying to say is I got to pick a side. Would you want to have a fitted button-down shirt or a boxy? And today I'm going with boxy. Okay, moving on. World's most hated cheese. World's most hated cheese comes out of the motherland, Sardinia. Casu Marzu. It's a sheep's milk cheese. Brace yourself. And it's infested with maggots. That's right, a maggot-infested cheese, okay? You know what bothers me the most about this katsu matsu is, did you see the Blue Zone documentary? I bring that up a lot. That's the documentary about the people living in these blue zones. There's like 7 of them where they live to 100. Sardinia is one of these blue zones. And is this part of the reason why they live to past 100 or at 100? Is it because they're eating maggot-infested cheese? I mean, of course not, but it makes one wonder. You have to wonder. It's actually illegal. It's not for sale. You can't buy it, you know, whatever. Of course it's illegal here. The European Union also has it banned, but it is, if you do find it, it's $100 a pound. And I don't know where you find it, but I'm assuming down a dark cobblestone alley in Sardinia, okay? And you know what? We will not be eating that ever. I'm gonna speak for myself and all of you. Here's also a really frightening visual for this cheese. The larva, so it's a round cheese, you Google it. The larva is inside the cheese, and they jump. That's right, they jump. Sometimes 6 inches, 6 inches if they're disturbed. So if you see somebody eating this katsu marzu in Sardinia, the diner will hold their hand way above the sandwich to prevent the maggots from leaping. That's right. I have this written down. I know this, but I have it written down. You know why? Because I can't even get it into my head and also verbalize it at the same time. I'm like, let me read this because the visual, the knowledge, the talking. I don't know about you, but there is never a time that I want to sit at a dinner table, okay, be enjoying my food and have an insect jump 6 feet and I have to protect my face and my mouth. I mean, come on. Come on. And when they are not jumping and you're putting away the cheese, the Sardinians put the cheese in a paper bag. I need more clarity on this from somebody that lives there, okay? Moving on to challah, okay? Rosh Hashanah, we had Rosh Hashanah. We, meaning you, not me, because, you know, I'm Catholic-ish. But I feel like culturally, as you know, I'm Jewish. And if I had my pick of the litter, I'd probably be like a Boo Jew, you know, like a Buddhist Jewish person. And to be honest, I thought about converting, but what's the point? I don't have a husband that's Jewish. And the process is so hard. And let me just say, the reason for the conversion would be because of the community, okay? It would be for the community. Okay, I belong, this is off tangent, I belong to this Jewish women's group on Facebook, you know, one of these, whatever, groups. And it has tons of people in it. And, all, you know, again, all women. And there are people that write in there like, oh, I just came from Israel, or oh, I just moved to Pittsburgh from wherever, and, you know, I need a place to stay, or does anybody know like a inexpensive, you know, home to rent? The community comes out to serve the person posting. It is the most beautiful thing. And of course, you know, most of the conversation in the group is about food and cultural things, and people post pictures of their family, and I love it, right? But, and especially if you're, you know, New York and you have a Jewish influence in your life like me, growing up and whatnot, it's perfect. But the way that the community is there to support each other, I just love. You know, the last time I was doing anything in the Catholic community, I was, one, volunteering at a nursing home for my confirmation community service, and two, going to a youth group dance in the gymnasium at St. John Newman in Staten Island, okay? Like, that was it. That was it. We need to get better at that. I'm sorry. I'm putting it out there. The Catholic Church, okay, you have to get better at the community, period. Okay, so, challah, Rosh Hashanah, I'm not being left out. I'm going to celebrate, right? So I made the brisket, beautiful, easiest recipe ever, can of cranberries, 1 packet of Lipton onion soup mix, get the slab of brisket, put it in a tray, get the cranberries, dump it in, dump the soup mix in, and rub it all up, and cover the brisket in tin foil, put it in the oven. I think it's like 350, 2 hours, and then maybe the last half hour, take the cover off and let it, you know, brown or whatever. And you want to like spoon some of the juices on it. It's beautiful. And if you're really interested, like, you could DM me for the cooking time, because I'd have to check what I wrote down, but that's pretty much it. So I had that, and I got, you know, apple babka and the challah, and I don't know, I didn't know about the raisin challah. Did you? Like, I got the egg, but need this sip. LaCroix, mango, delicious flavor. It's, I posted, so, you know, maybe it was someone saw on Instagram in my wagon or something, or, you know, the glass, and some woman said, oh my God, you gotta get the raisin one and have it with a glass of wine. And I read that comment, and I was like, yeah, I do. Like, people ask me, they're like, oh, like, do you read all the read? I take notes on some of the comments. Like, people are DMing me the recipe. Are you kidding? Like, yes, of course I do. Okay, so in other news, New York news, Elizabeth Street Garden, oh my God, in NoLita is closing down. If you don't know this, you can also Google it. So Elizabeth Street Garden is a 1-acre little oasis in NoLita, aka North of Little Italy. And it's been there forever. An acre. Imagine, it's like right near the old St. Patrick's Cathedral. My grandfather went to school there. And, you know, on my father's side of the family. And it's just, this little community garden has been in the neighborhood forever. And the city or the zone, whatever it is, they want to take it down. And of course, they want to put up apartment buildings. So all these people wrote in letters, including Robert De Niro, a bunch of celebs, school children, elderly people from the neighborhood saying this is their respite. Please don't take it down. And I don't know, I think they are taking it down. I read something in the paper a couple days ago that said like in 14 days or something, 2 weeks time, it was going to be coming down. And what they're going to be putting there is affordable housing, like 120 apartments or something for you know, affordable housing. Let me tell you something, okay? Who is going to get that affordable housing, okay? First of all, they didn't say like where the list is or how your name is going to get on a list, because, you know, that's how it works here, of course. But what would you rather have, I think? Like, would you well, listen, any New Yorker is going to say they want an affordable apartment, right? And if you can get one, that's a miracle. My father's family, my father's family didn't own any real estate. They all lived in low-income housing. Mother's family, totally different, right? Had two at opposite ends of the spectrum. But my father's family, challah, all that kind of housing, okay? So, you know, I had an aunt paying like $60 a year, $60 a month on Crosby Street for like 50 years, swear to God. Tenement, of course. So, if you're not getting the jackpot and you're not getting one of these rent-controlled low-income apartments, you know, the garden. I mean, the fact that I stay sane with my kids is because we go to Central Park like all the time. I never even been to a park before I moved to the city, you know? Like literally, when I was growing up, we didn't go to the park. Like, we had woods, like, I mean, but nobody went in there. Like, once I think I went in the woods, like, because somebody was like, I don't know, like, selling a Lucy or something. I wanted to find out what it was. Like, I literally, like, never ever didn't come from a family that was like, let's go to the park and have a picnic. And, you know, like, but now, you know, it's like my saving grace. It's my sanity with the kids. And imagine you're downtown and you don't have access to Central Park. So that little Elizabeth Street garden, I mean, it means so much to people down there, and it's cool. It's just cool. And they should keep it open. Okay? They should keep it open. Are you looking for a gift to send somebody? You know, I sent my friends last year for Christmas. Sometimes I send them Christmas gifts because they have to listen to all my mishigas. It's like the least I could do. I'm texting them. I flood text them, you know? Like, if I have something, I flood text them, and then I call them a zillion times, and I'm like, are you there? Are you there? Are you working? Like, literally, I'm like your worst nightmare friend. There's a lot of people like, oh my God, you must be like such a fun friend. Yeah, I'm fun, but like, you know, like if I'm in crisis, that's it. Like, I mean, Stephanie, Priscilla, Denise, they know I'm FaceTime's blowing up, right? So last Christmas, I sent them a gift. And it's from Kitchen Kettle Village. I think, I don't know if it's like in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, but it's an Amish little country store, and they make their own pickles and jams and relishes, right? So my sister's birthday was in April, and I sent her a little assortment, and it's really, really good. Like, I actually order them and keep them in my fridge, you know, here in Manhattan. Like, I could get anything here. Like, I could literally go to any store, have anything delivered from any of the, you know, whatever, the best of the best. But nothing is better than this Kitchen Kettle Village apple butter, pumpkin butter. They have a pepperelli gelish, pepper. This is when you know you're losing it. This is when you know you're so excited about it. You can't even get the words out of your mouth. A pepper jelly relish. It's like delicious. They also have like a pepper jam relish, and you put it on a little toast with some cheese. Oh my God. Okay. Everything tastes better on one of those little toasts, don't you think? So the other day I was at one of my friend's houses. She invited me over for a drink. Totally random. We were not my girl, friends from home. She's a comedian. We were texting, and somehow we were like, I was like, oh, where are you? She said, oh, I'm home. And then she said, come over for a drink. Impromptu, you know, cocktails at her house. And she has a fabulous roof. She lives in Midtown. And it's fun for me to go there, right? Because I don't have a terrace. Did I say she has a roof or a terrace? No, she has a terrace, but she has this fabulous view. You know, I don't have a terrace or rooftop, nothing. She has a beautiful terrace, little couch, and she's like right in the center of it all. Like, if you watch like a television show or movie and you're like, what is it like living in Manhattan in a high rise? Like, that's it, right? Like that's the view she has. So it's twinkling, dazzling. I love. Couldn't live there though, because, you know, of the kids. But anyway. So she's she's funny. Like like she's good to talk to. She's older than me. She's like, I don't know, in her mid-50s, late 50s, mother of 3. I like to chat with her because there's not a lot of girls like in comedy that have kids. And you could really, you could really talk about marriage and divorce and kids and how hard it is and juggling and all that stuff. And she worked before she had kids. Her name is Victoria Arnstein, by the way, but she worked before she had kids. And I think she was married or whatever, but married and worked a little job. And then when her and her husband had kids, she stopped working. So it's not like she's juggling all like job, comedy, but it's good. Anyway, she's funny though, because she has a very traditional outlook, especially like when it comes to dating and stuff. And, like she thinks like feminism like went too far. And I didn't say it then, but I'm thinking like there was a time in this feminism went too far. There was a time in the 70s that women, like, I mean, it was only in the, not in the 70s, they were only in like the 70s were women finally allowed to like get a credit card, like on their own without having their father or their husband co-signed with them. Like we needed feminism. I'm sorry. We needed feminism. And when we talk, we talk about the dating and stuff. And it's funny because she's been married like for decades. And I'm just like, and I obviously we were divorced and now my kids are getting older. And I think like they're gonna eventually, probably soon in the next few years, ask me for like dating advice. Yeah, right. You're all listening to this like, yeah, right. They don't want to know what you have to say, but they're going to, it will come up. Oh, and I'm going to have to, eventually. And I think like the advice I would give, well, when you're older, not teenage dating, in your 20s, like there should be no, and by the way, I didn't follow this always. Some of it I did. In your 20s. So let me rewind. You want dating advice? You're in your 20s or your 30s, you're single, you want dating advice? I'm gonna tell it to you. Yes, I am divorced, but I have lived a life, okay? In your 20s, this is the time to be you. You should not be concerned with a boyfriend. Go out with everybody, do everything, build your confidence up, build yourself up, have all your hobbies, work on your career, open up a 401k at 21 if your company offers it. If it doesn't offer it, open up an IRA account, start contributing. Open up a brokerage account, Charles Schwab, Ameritrade, whatever, and start contributing little automatically, right, from your paycheck. Start at 21. By the time you're 31, it's just going to be normal to you, right? Like that's what you have to do. And I think one of the most important things to do in your 20s is not only like everybody says, oh, have fun. And yes, you got to have fun and you want to go to parties and you want to have experiences and yada, yada. But I think this is like a really good decade to find out what makes you feel good. And I don't mean like hedonism-ish, not that genre of what makes you feel good. Like when I was in my 20s, I did a lot of things, right? I did oil painting class, like a nude oil painting class. I did a watercolor class, I did interior design, architecture. I mean, like upholstery all over the place. Cooper Union, Parsons. There was the National Art Gallery here on Fifth Avenue, whatever. It closed down. It was a museum. All over. I didn't go out as much, like with friends. And sometimes I have little regrets, like, oh, I didn't party as much. I mean, I was in a Jersey Shore share of house. I went out to the Hamptons, but my focus was my career, period. My career, and then it was my hobbies. And that's that. And that's what I think that a 20-year-old, in your 20s, that decade, you should be doing. Now, let me say, what I didn't do was I had a boyfriend. I always liked having a boyfriend. I'm better in a pair, right? But I have history, right? Like my father it wasn't around from when I was like 17, 18. I don't have daddy issues, but I just like being in a pair. When my father left, 17, 18 years old, I think I was 17, my mother, my mother had my sister who was like 4 years younger, 5 years younger than me. And then my other sister who's 15 years younger than me. So she had her hands full with that. My mom was just like totally not paying attention to me, which you know, that happens when you're the oldest and there's multiple kids. Fine, you know? So I wanted like to feel like not only a romantic love, I wanted to have like a familial love, especially while I was living in the city and I was traveling all over the place. But I think in your 20s, it should be, find out like, you know, who you are, what you like, your career, this is your time. And yes, you have to have fun and all that stuff, but develop the self-love, develop the friend love, develop, you know, you nurture the familial love, or, you know, find it in other forms. But one of the other things I think is really important is find out what are your happy triggers, right? Like a lot of people will say now, they didn't say it 20 years ago when I was 20, but you know, now people say, oh, that triggers me. Oh, that triggers me. Oh, you know, my phone ringing triggers me. You know, everything's like a effing trigger. So we all seem to know what makes us feel negatively triggered. But does everybody know what makes you feel positively triggered? And I don't think so. Like, is it clean sheets, right? Like that's a positive trigger for me. You wanna get me on your good side? Let me like do my laundry, put a beautiful pair of clean, beautiful white sheets, make my bed nice. I like my hair blown out by myself. I blow out my own hair. Of course I do. Why not? When it's fluffy, the better. That's a great trigger for me. I love a good meal, right? Like I know what certain, and you know, specific foods, I know what are my happy triggers, what I need to do to get myself back into like feeling happy. Some people, it's like going for a run. Tooth, if he was stressed, he'd run. He used to run, oh my God, he used to run to like, from Battery Park to like Washington Heights, this guy. I mean, he was Forrest Gump, right? So please, I think that that's extremely important. And then, only and then, you're into your 30s. And I'm saying 30, 31 years old. You're, again, focused on the career, making the career relationships, maybe finding, you know, the mentor and the, you know, and that's going to help you get to the next levels, right? In the business world or whatever you're doing. And only then, I think, should you be open to having a boyfriend, you know, open to maybe, you know, like half committing. Because see, in our 20s, if it was up to me, like when my kids are this age, or if you're listening and you're young, in your 20s, yeah, sure, you're going out for drinks with a guy, you're going to happy hours, you know, maybe you'll have a lunch or a dinner, but there's no boyfriend, there's no commitment, absolutely not. You'll figure out who you are, and like I said, and then in your early 30s, then you know that you'll find somebody, right? There is nothing more attractive, and there is nothing sexier for a man or for anybody than somebody that is so secure and knows, you know, who they are, and they laugh and they smile and they have friends and hobbies and they're accomplished, right? Nothing, and they're busy. Nothing is more attractive to somebody else, right? Like if you want to have a boyfriend in your early 30s, you're 30 and you're feeling like, maybe you feel like that biological clock is ticking, because let me tell you something, it's real. And I swear to God, at like 29 for me, it was like 29. I was like 30. I was like, oh my God, it was the weirdest feeling. I was like, I want to have a baby now. Like, this is my time. It's like the feeling of when you have a chocolate craving. That was it. That was what it was like. My biological clock, it was ticking like this, but it was like, get the baby in the belly. That's like literally what it was. Yeah, you know, now I'm all whatever. But you're gonna be like, she was just saying something. This is a mom brain. This is a mom brain. No, only in your early 30s, I think, should you be open to just having that little relationship, because you're gonna be so well-rounded by then, right? This is all ideal world. So well-rounded that men, they're gonna just like, they're gonna like want that, right? Like they're gonna want that independent person. So going back to what you know, Victoria is like, you know, feminism is going for, it's like, no, like feminism, it has not gone too far, in my opinion. Feminism is, there's lots of definitions of it, but to me, it's like just finding out who you are, believing in yourself, having confidence, doing it all, seeing it all, learning it all of that, right? Taking charge if you want to take charge. Now, the man, you could sit there and you could think, well, you know, maybe I'll meet a guy, or maybe, you know, whatever. My daughter met a guy and he's intimidated. Oh, my daughter is successful. She did this, that. You know what? Guess what? He's not for you. He is not for you. If there is a man that is intimidated, that, I'm sorry, you've been contributing to your 401k since you're 21 years old, or there's a man that's intimidated that you bought your apartment or something, get out of here. You don't want that kind of man. You do not want that kind of man, okay? And men, you don't even want to spend any energy on it. Let me just say that. You do not want to spend any energy on that, whatever. And yes, of course, like I said, there's the time when, you know, you're going to want to maybe have a family or maybe not. And if not, that's okay, right? And if you do want to have a family, there are options to do it on your own if you didn't find that person for you. But I feel like the dating thing, that the dating advice is so important, like when you're talking to younger people, because these days, I don't even know, it's like situationships, you know, it's everybody saying, oh, he doesn't want to commit, oh, I'm 26, he doesn't want to commit. Why do you want him to commit at 26? Are you kidding me? You were like a delicious piece of chocolate wrapped like a Lindt truffle. Get out of here. Focus on yourself. Like, you do not want him to commit. Become the best you could possibly be. And you're not only going to have him wanting to commit in a few years, you're going to have a whole line of them down the block. Literally, trust me. This is, I'm telling you. Oh, God. Hold on. This happened the last time, too. Hello? Yeah, can he come in like 10 minutes? Yeah, thank you. Oh, God. The same thing happened last time. What a horror. What a horror. That's the super, because I have some hooks falling out of the walls, if you can imagine, like coat hooks. And my daughters, they put these heavy bags on the coat hooks, and it needs like one of those, you know, I don't know, drywall screws. But anyway, I just, you know, my friend, her point, when I think she's saying feminism went too far, she was saying because women took on too much, right? Women, they're you know, they're focusing on, she's saying like today, women, they're focusing on their careers, they're getting married, they're having kids, and they're burning out, right? And it's all over the place. And, you know, I'm sure we didn't go in that direction with the conversation, but I'm sure that's what she meant, right? Like she was going to probably, if we got that far talking about that, she would probably say to me, like you burned out. Here's the difference. I didn't burn out because I was doing too much. I burned out because I had a nervous breakdown because I had a zillion things going on at once. Like, you know, my father died, my mother wasn't around. I got laid off from my job. I had 2 babies within 17 months. I had crippling postpartum depression with Vivian, okay, my youngest. So, and multitude of other things, right? My in-laws were abroad. So, I was traveling internationally for work. Like, I had a breakdown. That's not to say that women aren't or are taking on too much. I mean, listen, women, they do take on too much today. But that doesn't mean that feminism has gone too far, in my opinion, so yeah, I mean, I feel like there's so much like stuff out there on relationships and dating and like the 2 of the biggest pieces of ever advice, like that ever comes up with anybody. It's one always is do not sleep with the man at any time, like early. And I am, listen, nobody's going to be truthful about this. In my opinion, there is a lot of girls that are not truthful. There's a lot of, I know a lot of girls, okay, not a lot of girls. They'll say, you know, of course I know ones that, you know, did the do right out of the gate, off the top, first date. And then there's other ones that'll say, oh yeah, you know, it was a few dates, you know, it was a few. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. You have to get 6 months. 6 months. I used to say 9 months. Now I'm saying maybe 6 months. 6 months. And listen, he will wait. He'll wait. He'll wait. You know why? Because if that's what he wants so bad, guess what? There's a zillion other girls that are going to give it to him. You don't need to be that girl. It's not about necessarily having the respect for your body, which of course is always extremely important and you need to have. It's a precious thing between two people, right? It's about it's even about health. It's about maintaining like the chemistry without moving too far in a relationship, right? Like it's about really getting to know the person, really getting to know them without adding that stuff in, right? Like, because once that gets added in, you know, a lot of people think, oh, well, he's my boyfriend now and whatever. And the second, you know, that happens, and a lot of times, then a lot of energy starts getting spent. You know, a lot of your mind energy starts getting spent on the guy, and that you don't want that, okay? Okay, and that's the first thing. And the second thing is date yourself, right? That would be the other piece. The biggest piece is also with the sex, and then date yourself. I'll never forget seeing a post on Facebook from a girl I know from a million years ago, and it was only like 5 or 6 years ago, and she posted, oh my God, I'm so proud of myself. I went to the movies and took myself for dinner for the first time. And I, you know, maybe I liked it or whatever. And it was so bizarre to me because I've been going places by myself, eating out at restaurants forever. I mean, you know, like I lived in Italy when I was 19, so I didn't do it there because I had roommates. Maybe I did it once or twice, but since I moved to Manhattan, early 20s, I used to go to the diner every single Saturday morning by myself. Every single Saturday morning with the magazine. Date yourself. Date yourself. Give yourself the nice meal out. Get dressed up for yourself, right? All of that kind of stuff. Take yourself to the diner. Take yourself to the movies. Go to the library. Do all these fun things alone, because then you're like also figuring out what kind of dates you like, and you're enjoying your time alone. And so then when, you know, guy wants to come along or wants to join you, you know, like you already have the things, all your stuff set up. Anyway, I'm going on too much about that, but that is my advice. And I think that, you know, take it for what you may. I think I have, you know, the girls, you know, a lot of girls older that listen to this. So maybe it's not as relevant to you. But, you know, I don't like this whole, like, situationship, slutty shit I see around. Like, I can't. And, you know, by the by, that's even, like, in comedy, too. You know, I respect comedians and I respect the craft, everybody's craft. Hold on, I'm trying to type my password into my computer. I respect the craft. I respect anyone's type of comedy, anything that they want to say on stage, fine, whatever. It's comedy, right? It's freedom of speech and then some. But I'm not into like the filthy blue stuff. I'm just not, you know, like the filthy, dirty sex. Just not for me. Not for me. Doesn't mean you can't do it. Not for me. Anyway, okay. I don't have a product today. I literally don't have a product because I didn't try it. There's this viral product on TikTok going around. It's called Prid, P-R-I-D. It's a little can. It's like a bomb. And it takes anything that you have on you, apparently. Well, let me say, it's apparently a miracle product, this pomade, this balm. If you have a bump on your skin, a skin tag, a splinter, anything. Apparently you put this balm on and it takes it right out. This viral product. So I ordered on Amazon, didn't come yet. But not only do I want to try it before I talk about it, I want to make sure that it's kosher, you know, because like, I don't know, like you want to put this sticky salve on your skin. Like, I'm not going to talk about that unless, you know, it's like a regulated product. You got to obviously be careful with some of these viral things. So anyway, quote of the day by Damarera, kind of similar to what I was saying about the dating stuff. Listen to this. I asked this one girl to go out and she said, you got a friend? I said, yes. And she said, then go out with him. Damarera, love him. I'm Elyse DeLucci. This is New York Talk. Love to love you, baby.